Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, we're going to talk about a very interesting project that was suggested to me by one of my subscribers, and that project is called Multivac or the MTV token, right? So I just want to let you guys know that moving forward, I will try to make shorter videos because I know that one of the main concerns that some of my subscribers have is because my videos are very long. So in order to address that, I will try to make my videos about 10 to 15 minutes long. So I'll try to make sure that it covers all aspect of the project within the 10 to 15 minutes range. So as a part of that, I'm going to rely mostly on the information provided by CoinGecko itself because CoinGecko has some important information. So with regards to that, what is Multivac? So Multivac is the next generation public blockchain platform designed for large scale and complicated decentralized applications. So if you take blockchains, there are multiple blockchain based products right now. As Ethereum started this smart contract blockchain craze, so many other projects want to be this Ethereum killer or be an active competitor of Ethereum by capitalizing on some of the issues that Ethereum is having. And as a result, there are numerous blockchain smart contract platforms that are currently in the market, and there are new upcoming smart contract blockchain projects such as Multivac that's also coming in, right? So Multivac is nothing but basically a next generation blockchain platform which is specifically designed for large scale and complicated decentralized applications, right? So what are some of the key benefits of Multivac blockchain? It has high throughput. With the same node scale, Multivac can achieve 2 orders of magnitude credibility and over 10,000 times TPS as Bitcoin, which will fully meets the needs of large scale applications. So some of the key points that you need to understand is when it comes to any smart contract based blockchain project, they obviously want to outperform Bitcoin, right? And therefore, they have to be faster and much more efficient than Bitcoin. And when it comes to Multivac, they claim that they are over 10,000 times transactions per second compared to Bitcoin, right? So that's something that you have to basically expect of from any new generation blockchain technology that's going to come in the future, because if they are not as not faster than Bitcoin, there's no point in them even existing in the first place, right? And also this benefit, this kind of high transactions per second kind of provides Multivac with an opportunity to utilize these transactions per second to channel multiple different decentralized applications on top of it, right? So that's kind of the major gist of high throughput. If you see flexible computation, that's one of the other features that Multivac has. So Multivac separates transactions and smart contracts or computation and provides an optimal slide of CAP for DApps to make their own infrastructure of performance and decentralization level. So what this means is they are trying to make their blockchain much more flexible. So if you take certain legacy platforms and some smart contracts on legacy platforms such as Ethereum, you can clearly see that there's not a lot of flexibility that can be offered on Ethereum. If you see blockchains such as Polkadot or Kusama, there is more flexibility on these blockchains even though they are ultimately connected to the relay chain, right? Similarly, Multivac aims to have flexibility where they can basically allow for all sorts of decentralized applications to create their own infrastructure to improve performance and decentralization levels, right? So that's another cool feature. Infinite expansion. There will be an economic model and an efficient free market in which nodes can benefit from bookkeeping, computing, and saving, lending to obvious increasing and network effects. So again, they are planning to have their blockchain smart contract platform expand indefinitely, and this can be basically done through multiple different economic models in order to ensure that the free markets can kind of like decide the fate of the Multivac blockchain. And also by enabling by enabling this feature, nodes can basically benefit from bookkeeping, computing, and saving, leading to obvious increasing in computation speed, as well as more development on the blockchain, as well as any sorts of network effect that it can also gain, right? So these are some of the three main components of Multivac. Again, overall, it's a blockchain product that aims to be highly scalable, have high throughput, and process multiple transactions, and allow for complex decentralized applications. This is the main key statement, right? Because they're doing all of this in order to allow for not simple dApps, but even complex dApps to kind of like be built on top of the blockchain, right? So just to take you guys to the website here, again, you can obviously do your own research on this project, which I highly recommend you guys to do. Although it's an interesting project, it has its own risks, which we'll cover. So if you see mtv.ac is the actual website, and if you go there, you can clearly see some interesting graphics. The website looks pretty clean and neat. Pioneering flexible blockchain platform based on trusted sharding. So again, they are using the word sharding more in order to highlight how much scalable they are compared to several other blockchains, right? You can read the technical white paper, sharding yellow paper, and programming purple paper. Again, if you are a beginner or an intermediate, or if you want to put a lot of money on this project, you can kind of like read through the respective yellow paper, white paper, or purple paper in order to understand this project, right? So if you see here, they have information about their nodes, the peak transactions per second, again, information that we already went through. They have blockchain trilemma flexibility, which is one of the more important aspect of scalability that all projects face, right? So according to Ethereum's co-founder Vitalik Buterin, if you have a smart contract platform, you are basically facing this blockchain trilemma, which is basically, if you have a high decentralization, you can't you can either have two out of three things, right? Decentralization, security, and scalability. So you have to sacrifice one in order to get the most out of the other two, right? So it seems to be like Multivac has kind of like solved this problem in a way, but not quite. But if you see, Multivac pioneers flexible sharding, allowing DApp developers the flexibility to trade off between the impossible triangle of decentralization, scalability, and security. So here they're mainly focusing on scalability and decentralization, and they're making less emphasis on security. But overall, if you read through some of the docs, they claim that they have sort of solved this trilemma, but in reality, they basically sacrificed a little bit on security. Again, not saying that this is a bad project just because of that, but it's something that you might have to evaluate on your own basis to see if this is the right project to take the risk on, right? So high TPS and infinite expansion, again, something that we already covered before. Technology, it is basically designed for performance and flexibility, engineering, pioneering a miner selection model that redefines sharding and smart contracts. Again, if you see, they have a curve for scalability, and they're basically aiming for infinite scalability, which is something of an ambitious goal in and of itself. But nonetheless, they have this graph that provides information on what they expect to be, what the transactions per second will be, when it comes to the number of shards. If you see on the bottom right corner, when you have 64 shards, you have a 30,000 plus transactions per second, right? Some interesting information about that. You can also read some technical information as well. Distributed storage schemes based on Merkle trees. Again, that's a little bit of a technical topic which I'll not cover in this video because it's outside of the scope of this video. But if you see, they are trying to also have fair mining of this project, everyone, which is, again, you can use this program. It's a sort of like proof of work where lower miner threshold and everyone can join in the network easily. So it's interesting to see how they're still kind of relying on a sort of proof of work system when multiple other projects, including Ethereum, are moving towards proof of stake system, right? So you can see the ecosystem here, and they have pictorially represented some of the ecosystems in a very clear manner. You can read through that in detail. So again, at the bottom they have a keynote section where you can do some specific learning, right, as a part of your own research. And you can also access their roadmap as well. Their partners, again, they are partnered with lots of crypto projects from several different parts of the world, and their ecosystem partners are obviously important in order for us to understand what directionality the project is going to take. Some of the notable names are Anchor, Certic, White ARPA, as well as PoolX. I'm not really familiar with Top Network here. They have business partners. Again, it's named as business partners, not investors. So I would bear caution. If you see exchange partners, these are some of the exchanges where they're listed at. We'll cover this shortly. And if you see news, they're available, they're kind of spoken about in several different news articles from different platforms, right? So overall, that's pretty much it when it comes to Multivac. It's again, just another kind of like blockchain smart contract platform that aims to provide more emphasis on scalability, which is basically sharding, and it's a kind of like a proof of work system or proof of work like system that can potentially be highly scalable, right? So let's go back to the CoinGecko page for Multivac, and this token is currently ranked 697th by ranking, and if you see the price point, the token price is less than 1 cent, is in fact $0.0039 per token, with a 16.1% decline in the past 24 hours. Again, the market is still kind of moving sideways or overall on a downward trend. And if you see the market cap, this token is only worth $14 million in market cap at the time of making this video, which makes this token a low cap token. Again, I personally don't feel like this token is a gem. That's because of the fact that this platform is competing with some serious juggernauts in the crypto space, such as Cardano, that's going to bring a smart contract functionalities. And if you see Polkadot and Kusama, they're already having their, I think Kusama is obviously having their parachain auction right now, but Polkadot, they will eventually soon. So when it comes to these kind of juggernauts, when it comes to smart contract platforms, competing against them is going to be extremely hard. If you take the example of Avalanche and Phantom Network, despite them being extremely faster than Ethereum and even Binance Smart Chain, they weren't able to take the market share of Ethereum sufficiently enough to be taken fully seriously by several DeFi players, right? So that's something that I can kind of expect to be the fate of Multivac, where it will be a product that can be used, but not a lot of DApps or exciting DApps will be built on this platform, and there may be some DApps which will be interesting, but not a lot of DApps, which will kind of make this project a very risky and very hard to capture the market share kind of project, right? That's one of the reasons why I don't want to address this as a low market cap gem, but you can obviously label it however you please. When it comes to circulating supply and max supply, you can clearly see that there is 10 billion tokens in max supply and 3.4 billion tokens are in circulation right now, which is again a decently small amount of tokens in circulation. Since it's a blockchain project, I understand that there needs to be a huge max supply for this token, and that's kind of reasonable compared to several other projects which don't necessarily have a max supply in the first place, right? So I would say that for a blockchain based project, this token has some decent supply, and if you see the price kind of reflects that it's extremely cheap. That's because of its max supply and circulating supply, right? So let's go to the charts for this token. Again, as you can see, overall this project was available since 2019, but it hasn't really been well noted or well recognized. It's because of several blockchain projects were not really well known at the time, but the token price was worth 1 cent per token on 10th of April 2019, and it was extremely volatile as we expected. It was going to a lower point of $0.005 per token, and then it made a decent highs of about 0.008 on the same April month of 2019 before crashing back down to an all-time lows of about 0.0008, which again, it had been in that price range for quite some time until March 2021, which is this year, when the price went from $0.0004 to an all-time highs of about 1.5 cent. Again, say incredible number of X's, but the token price is still cheap because of its market cap, and it kind of wasn't it wasn't really at that price point for too long. It kind of crashed immediately, reaching a lower point of about $0.003 per token, and it pumped back up mid-June or early during the 20th of June, and then it kind of is dumping back down again, right? When it comes to price point, I feel like this token can go lower since the overall market is moving sideways and there's not a lot of DeFi excitement happening. So projects like this Multivac project will probably have a little bit of a thrashing for the upcoming weeks as well. It also depends on Bitcoin's price point, right? So as Bitcoin continues to recover, the large market caps will recover, then medium market caps, and all these small market cap tokens will only recover at the end. But I feel like till then this token price can go even lower, right? I believe that this token can go to a price point of 0.002 dollars per token, which would be a good opportunity to buy if you want to buy this token, right? If you take the Bitcoin compared, on the other hand, the token price was surprisingly not as volatile as it was in the dollar comparative. But if you see, the token price was only worth 224 satoshis before it crashed to an all-time lows of about less than, I think it's 9 satoshis. I think 9 satoshis per token. It was pretty much at that price point all the way till March of this year, where it went from 4 satoshis to a relative highs of 24 satoshis per token, and then it's been moving sideways. But its explosion hasn't been so pronounced. In fact, it's been quite lackluster, which means this suggests that this is the worst token to buy with Bitcoin, because if you're looking to gain some sats as a gain, this is the worst token to kind of buy, right? There are several other tokens that make multiple X's in Bitcoin comparative, and this is not that token. If you want to buy this token with Ethereum, on the other hand, you can clearly see that, again, a pretty poor performance of this token with Ethereum comparative as well. The token was initially worth 5,719 GUE, early April in 2019, early to mid-April 2019, before crashing back down to an all-time lows of about 453 GUE, or even like 176 GUE per token, throughout 2020. And then mid of March, this token went from 123 GUE to relative all-time highs of 729 GUE before crashing back down, and it's kind of obscure right now. You can't really see the price, but it's actually 209 GUE, right? Again, pretty worst returns on your Ether comparative and dollar comparative with this token. I would probably stick to the Ether comparative as well as Bitcoin comparative. I would probably stick with the dollar comparative, because it seems like dollar comparative is what is making money for this token, right? So again, not financial advice, please do your own research, but I wouldn't really buy this token with Bitcoin or Ether, because it's not really worth it, right? If you take the exchanges, it's available on KuCoin, which is a reputed exchange. Again, there's a lot of low market cap gems that are listed on KuCoin earlier compared to several other exchanges. You can also get this token from Gate.io using USDT, as well as MEXC Global, although I would not really trust the last one. Maybe Gate.io and KuCoin would probably be the better options, right? So what's my final verdict on this token? I personally am not really impressed by this project. Again, it may be a very scalable, fast blockchain with lots of transactions per second compared to several other smart contract platforms. But I feel like smart contract platforms owe their existence to adoption, right? If they don't have a lot of adoption, they are not going to sustain themselves. They'll probably be ghost chains. Again, if you want to compare this project to some other project, you can compare it with Avalanche, for example, right? I think Avalanche has some really good, features, but it's kind of like worthless because of the fact that its competition is so powerful, right? It can't compete with severe behemoths like Binance Smart Chain or Polygon, and it's kind of struggling in that regard, right? So you can also see that we've covered Elrond yesterday in this channel, and that's also a smart contract based platform which will probably have the same effect, but it has its own community. And I think Elrond is also making multiple partnerships which will make it a little bit more relevant compared to Multivac, right? Unless Multivac tries to make serious partnerships on a consistent basis and tries to bring in some big names, such as, let's say for example, some premium DApps on Ethereum such as Aave, Uniswap, or some high level DApps on its platform, I don't think it will get a lot of recognition, which is going to be a little bit disappointing for people who invest in this project. But if you do want to invest in this project, I'd probably recommend you investing very little amounts, because it is an extremely risky project with a very low market cap. It can definitely pump, but I wouldn't really use this as a long-term hold, maybe like a short-term, quick, kind of gain kind of project, right? I personally won't invest on this project, but I do like this concept, but I don't really think it's anyway special and can compete with some of the big names, and therefore I personally won't invest in this project. But if you want to, then by all means go ahead, right? Again, remember guys, you guys are not direct investors, you guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video guys. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.